Hey guys, I am Katie, the Apothecary Alchemist, and welcome back for another video. So, ladies, have you ever wondered why you give so much and end up drained? You aren't generous. I know that sounds kind of mean, but it's not anything to do with generosity. The simple fact of the matter is you're uninsured because you're overgiving to buy a sense of safety that was never guaranteed in childhood. Let me introduce myself properly because I am the lady who waited until almost 39, not by choice, by the way, to finally start saying no and to finally start putting myself first. I'm the creator behind Source Insights, which is a spiritual awareness channel. And I focus on women over 30 who really need clarity and awareness. They need to unlearn some mess, and then they need to relearn how to start putting themselves first and actually begin to recognize when they're thriving and get out of that survivor mindset. So let me just say this. If you think you do everything for everyone, which you probably do, we've probably already established that. Because if you're anything like me, you've done it. Yeah. And in the last few years, I'm now known as the person who actually does put themselves first. But it was a long, hard slog. Trust me. Yeah. You have been doing everything for everyone. And for some reason, you finally believe that you'll be indispensable. Yeah, because it's like a respect thing. But in reality, you're just making yourself almost like a vending machine for people who don't even have the currency to pay you back in respect. Yeah? Your love and your honor, your time, your energy, it's performance based. And trust me, this is the mother wound in action. Now, in 9 times out of 10, this is what this is. There is obviously always the exception to the rule. But more than likely, if this is how you have been conducting your life, almost like a vending machine for your energy and your output, then this is the mother wound in action. Because you learned early on that love was performance based. And if you weren't useful, then you were invisible or just too much. Your nervous system is addicted to the high of being needed to avoid the low of being abandoned. Let me say that again. Your nervous system is addicted to the high of being needed to avoid the low of being abandoned. And you don't need to worry about whether you will be abandoned or not. I know on paper, that's kind of what it feels like. I know that that's what you worry about. I know that that's a concern that everybody is just going to disappear because you're choosing yourself. And you can't even put it into the words of, oh, you're choosing yourself. You just think everybody's going to abandon you because you're being mean, because you're being disrespectful, because you're being nasty. But you're not a vending machine. And even if you were, they're definitely not feeding coins into that machine for the output. The only thing they seem to possibly be feeding you with is a lot of empty words. And it's never empty promises, because these type of people don't necessarily promise you anything. You might get with a guy who wants to love bomb you and promise you the world and tell you a bunch of crap. And maybe you'll, likely believe all the crap. But then if you just sit back for a second and look at things from an out, and I tell you something, a man who you ask for time so that you can think, not even ask, you put it in place. I need time so that I can think. And you make the mistake of saying, well, because something doesn't feel right. Ooh, honey, he will be on you like flies on rice. Yeah. He will be so quick to make sure that you do not get the time to think, because he's worried he's going to lose access to the vending machine, because whatever strategy he has in place in order for him to benefit from your kindness, your time, your labor, your energy. He will make sure that that vending machine stays working, it stays open, it stays accessible. Yeah. And that goes for anybody else. But I know in situations like that, they are very sly and they're quite slick to the point of stupid, because it's all going to fall, on deaf ears in the end. They're going to fall flat on their face in the end. But they would have benefited in the short term from everything that you're putting out. And the only thing they've been feeding into you is lies, sweet words, promises, future-led promises, of God knows what is going to happen. And you fed into all of it not because you're stupid, not because you're naive, although there is sometimes a little bit of naivety in there, but mostly because you so desperately want that this time, you're finally going to get the reciprocity that you deserve. And honey, it is a load off. Okay? Your nervous system is addicted to the high. And that crash all the way down to the bottom, trying to avoid that low of being abandoned, is going to happen anyway. You and I know it's happened several times before. So what's the remedy? Is it to give less? Not necessarily, no, it's not. But here's what we are going to do. We're going to decenter the recipient. We're going to decenter the recipient. You're going to start giving to yourself. Because if your cup is empty, the shop is closed. We've said this before. You know this stuff. Come on. You know this. But the most important thing is to decenter the recipient. They are not the center of your universe. 9 times out of 10, they aren't even the center of their own universe. They're so busy trying to get you to make them the center of theirs, or make themselves the center of yours, should I say. They haven't even bothered to turn around and look in the mirror and say, hold on a second. Maybe if I put more time into choosing myself, but that would be too much work for them, apparently. Because in order for that to happen, they have to be aware. They need the clarity. They need to unlearn some shit. Then they need to relearn, and they cannot be bothered, so they'll be more than happy to have you do it all for them. Yeah? Because whilst your vending machine is open, they get all the snacks. They got all the goodies. Couldn't care less where it's all coming from. They just know it came for free. They just know that they got to snack and come back for more. And keep coming back consistently, by the way. And by the way, every single time they keep coming back, you look different. You seem different. You act different. You've lost something about you. That thing that makes you you, it starts to whisper away. And slowly and surely, the vending machine becomes an empty shell. Who's restocking the vending machine? Who? Then you go away after you finally told them no. You didn't tell them no because you learned something. You told them no because you're empty. Whew. You're so empty. You're so done. You're so drained. And now you've got to restock yourself. So not only did you give to them from the stock that you filled up, you had to now restock yourself. Now you've got your spark back. Now you've got your brightness back. And bam, here comes another one. Here comes another fool, ready to extract, blind you so you cannot see, and deafen you so you cannot even hear your own thoughts. and you'll do it all over again. Decenter the recipient, the potential, the supposed recipient. Decenter and center yourself. If your cup is empty, the shop is closed. My name is Katie, the Apothecary Alchemist. Do me one favor, drop a comment, subscribe to this channel, and last but not least, share this with one woman that you know. All right, just one, and drop a comment below and tell me who you decentering this time. Yeah, because sometimes the list is long. Who's your focus now? You don't have to name any names. Yeah, friend, family, co-worker, it doesn't matter. Just, yeah, drop that comment. I want to see all of the ways that you're decentering the recipient. And I'll see you in the next one. Love and light. Bye.